Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And I haven't talked about her in a while, but Stephanie McMahon is a fucking bitch and she fucking sucks. Let's get this straight. So, I did 2 reaction vids, didn't review Raw, of course, but we talked extensively about The Undertaker returning. I reacted to it. I commented on how Stephanie was being annoying. She was, really harping on Mick Foley to deliver The Undertaker throughout the night. Foley was all nervous, and right before The Undertaker comes out, he's apologizing. I'm sorry! Now, we've talked about this for fucking years on this channel. Wrestlers apologizing, The Big Show apologizing, numerous wrestlers crying on TV, getting their feelings hurt, having, basically the wrestlers are all fucking snowflakes. This is how it's perceived. Well, Mick Foley's an authority figure. He's a GM, but it's still the same difference when you think about it. It's just, Stephanie McMahon is so unbearable on TV. And she's so self-centered. I was listening to Vince Russo. Here we go with the people attacking me for listening to Russo. Your views change. Actually, they did change when listening to Vince Russo. Because you see, when you actually listen to the guy that was there for all the years and actually made wrestling good, this is a guy where I admire his creativity in writing. This is a guy that put together the best wrestling that I've seen in my life. And for everyone who does say it, and I do believe Russo when he says that McMahon didn't filter him. Because if McMahon filtered Russo, right now Vince McMahon is in control. You see where I'm going with this? If Russo was filtered by McMahon, then why the fuck does the shit suck so bad? This is why I'll never understand why people attack the man. So as he said, Stephanie is a bitch, and this is the character she's playing on TV. And she's not McMahon. She's not Vince. And we know this, and I enjoyed Stephanie. I enjoyed her when they had the McMahon Helmsley faction in 2000. I enjoyed her as SmackDown GM. And, there's been points throughout WWE history where I've legitimately enjoyed some Stephanie content. But the Stephanie that we have right now, this Stephanie McMahon, she is just, this is supposed to be the replacement for McMahon on TV, for Vince McMahon. This is the McMahon that we're going to get. And this is not the McMahon that I want and that a lot of other people want. She's always angry all the time for fucking nothing. And as Vince Russo puts it, absolutely correct. With Vince McMahon, at least you got humorous segments. The guy would smile. I mean, look at him. Remember when he was trying to hire a secretary when he was the SmackDown GM in the very beginning during the first brand extension? They've even shown his face for various, videos on YouTube. They've taken this famous facial expression that McMahon had, where Stacy Keibler was on the table. She was putting her legs on Vince's shoulders, and he had like this face like this. Or how about when Vince McMahon says, "Life sucks, and then you die"? He said it with a smile on his face. Stephanie never really smiles. She does this, I don't know, she looks like an evil clown half the fucking time. I've had enough about clowns already, geez, but, there's a clear distinction between the two. And I think most people will agree. Is there anybody out there who prefers Stephanie over Vince? Because, that's something I'd really like to see somebody explain. You're gonna have to bring me fucking charts, statistics. you're going to have to give me a 500-word essay because I do not know how anybody could prefer Stephanie. This woman, I mean, like, it actually detracts from the show. This is what I've said. This is why I was, trying to go with SmackDown for a while. But even, just the quality of the show, but at least Daniel Bryan and Shayna, they're two likable personalities. You want to enjoy Mick Foley on Raw, but, Mick Foley also has been, like, really boring. But anyway, but Stephanie McMahon, I still wouldn't mind it. Because, I do genuinely like Mick Foley. But Stephanie McMahon just being there, she's screaming, yelling, it's the same thing. She's getting angry with everybody. She's always bossing everybody around, in just like a mean-spirited way. I mean, you could say that, okay, McMahon spent the majority of his on-screen character time as being a heel, but you always liked McMahon. You always found him likable because he was just like a power-hungry guy, but he also himself wanted to be entertained, and Stephanie McMahon doesn't really seem like she's enjoying herself out there, to be quite honest. She's so concerned with getting herself over at the expense of all talent. This is the thing. She makes the talent look weak. You've got these guys, I know, the talent is a lot smaller than they used to be. But still, you've got a lot of guys that are over 200 fucking pounds. And you've got this girl, I mean, she works out extensively. But, she thinks that she's like a fucking wrestler. That she could just boss everybody around. They're going to be intimidated by her. And I was really enjoying Russo's rant on this, on the brand. Because he was so right. Somebody just, Mick Foley, like, specifically, should just turn around and say, you know what, Stephanie, go fuck yourself. I mean, can't begin to tell you how many times watching the fucking show I've been like, shut the fuck up, you fucking cunt-ass bitch! Shut up! I mean, this is Mick Foley. This is a guy that gave you so much. He gave you his fucking body. And then he came back. And then he goes to a flaming table at WrestleMania, giving you even more of his body years later. This was a guy that, he had no fucking off switch. He fucking took fucking 10 chair shots to the fucking head, which he says was probably one of the most painful fucking experiences in his whole fucking life, where Rock got overly aggressive with him. I mean, this is a guy that was thrown off a fucking cell. He agreed to be thrown with, like, no padding or anything. I mean, this is a guy, he's lost his teeth. He's, my God, the man's disfigured himself for this fucking company. And you think the least that they can do is maybe book him to look, strong-willed, and, instead he's apologizing to Stephanie? I mean, is this how they treat their fucking talent? I mean, I know, Brad, this is a scripted show. It's meant to be this way. But still, I mean, he's a human being and he's got to do this in front of people. I mean, they don't ask George Clooney to get down on his fucking knees and suck, Ryan Reynolds' dick or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain standard, even if it is fake and even if it is scripted, that it should be held to. You don't want to make your actors look like fucking idiots. You don't want to make them look like fucking goofs. They write a movie where, Leonardo DiCaprio, he usually, like Wolf of Wall Street, he gets a lot of girls and everything. It's not like they write him into the movie to be some type of pathetic virgin. You know what I'm saying? They got to make these people look strong. If, people perceive a certain image in their mind of a certain actor or personality or celebrity or wrestler in this case, you can't just completely book them or write them a whole different way where people lose respect for them. I mean, seriously. It's like, look, people had a lot of respect for John Wayne in the movies. Can you imagine if they made him play like a homosexual character or something like that in a movie? people would stop watching his movies. Well, we're doing wrestling. If people not stop watching, this is what I'm saying. You can't have this all the time. This bitch is fucking destroying the show, and has a big hand in creative. I've never seen this before. Remember with Vince McMahon? Now, people are going to come up with little arguments here and there. Zach Gowen, and shit, where McMahon, wouldn't let people go over. But most of the time, McMahon helped people get over. Did he not fucking let Stone Cold smash his head against the cage and flew through a fucking table where he actually legitimately got injured and he could have fucking got killed? He actually fell backwards through a fucking table. For Stone Cold. So Stone Cold could, get a giant pop from the crowd so Stone Cold can continue his massive popularity. So at least you could say that McMahon did some things that would help the careers of other people. He did a lot. By putting himself in that position with Stone Cold, this guy did so much for Stone Cold's image. I gotta ask the question, what has Stephanie McMahon done? She did little things as SmackDown GM, but this is when she had a little less power. She was starting to gain a little bit of power. I'm kind of forgetting in 2002, that's one of the reasons why Vince Russo left, because Stephanie was the head of creative. But at least I guess things were a little bit different. There was a different mindset at that time. But, she would do things backstage as SmackDown GM that would help get certain talent over. Like she let John Cena fucking slap her ass one time, for example, making John Cena seem like he was really cool, that the guy could basically do what he wanted to do. So, there were moments throughout WWE history where Stephanie did a couple of beneficial things. But not a lot. Not a lot at all. As you can see, the number of years she's been on TV detracting from the current talent and the current product has completely superseded anything she's done in the past. Because she's, had this position for a very fucking long time of being, on screen, and the authority, you fucking name it. So, Stephanie McMahon, this is a fucking virus for WWE. This is probably a reason why some people turn it off. It's stupid. Nobody wants to hear that fucking voice of hers. People are gonna turn the fucking TV off. They're gonna be like, who's this bitch? She's not bad looking. Stephanie's actually kind of hot. I've said this, but after a while you get around that and you're like, fuck, she's annoying as shit. And she's on constantly throughout the fucking show, and she's weakening the characters of many fucking wrestlers and talent, and even the fucking authority figures. This is what I can't even begin to even comprehend. I mean, you have Mick Foley here. He is the authority figure, so but they still have Stephanie berating the man. I mean, I know that they want to make like Shane is the face on SmackDown and Stephanie is the heel, but Mick Foley's the face. It's like, enough already. How long does she think she could keep this whole fucking shtick up for? And people are gonna fucking tolerate it, because they're not tolerating it. They're not gonna tolerate it that much longer with her this fucking bitch keeps on berating the talent, making everybody look weak. She makes fun of talent. She makes comments that just puts the talent in a bad light. And it makes her look strong. But the thing is, does she really need to put herself over? A Stephanie McMahon that is over with the crowd is not going to put asses into seats. That is not enough. And she's not, she's over. She's been over. People boo her and shit. She's got heel heat. But, like Russo said, it's the wrong kind of heat. It's heat because people don't like her. It's not like Triple H coming out during 2000 where this guy would just cut good promos and people would love to hate him. But they hated him, but they wanted to see his match with The Rock because they knew that it was going to be an entertaining feud that had a lot of build to it and it was going to be exciting and eventful. Stephanie McMahon coming out and, saying mean things to wrestlers that don't put the wrestlers over but put herself over. There's no match to look forward to. She's not helping to promote a match. She's not getting genuine heel heat. This is what I think a lot of people fail to realize, and obviously what she's failing to realize herself. Alright, motherfuckers, that's enough of that. Stephanie McMahon is fucking ruining the fucking show. It's not like this is new news or anything like that, or this is a new fucking concept. I've talked about this before. But seeing the last episode of Raw, or part of it anyway, is what I mean to say, it really just solidified the fucking fact that I had to rant on it. Alright, motherfuckers.